Hey guys, this is Jonathan Washburn, hashtag Dean of Mortgages with Goldwater Bank. Wanted to talk to you today about something that, to be honest, I kind of took for granted, all right? I had a good friend call me this weekend. Now this friend has got a great job. He and his wife both have great jobs. They have money in the bank. They have fantastic credit scores. These are the people that are like prime candidates to buy a home. And he called me up. He's like, "Hey John, I know you're in mortgages. Explain the whole process to me." And they're like, "What are you talking about, man? You're smart. You got a great job. You have money in the bank. What do you need help with?" He's like, "Well, I just don't know where to start." And it dawned on me that there's a lot of people out there that are really qualified to purchase a home. They just may not know where to start. So today I want to talk about 4 steps. If you're looking to try to buy a home, here's 4 steps that you can take to start yourself off on that process, okay? The first step is not to research online. Look, I'm a millennial too. That's where we start out everything, right? What do? How do I buy a home? Let's go to Google. 10 steps to buy a home, right? Here's the problem with that, okay? The internet's going to take you to different places that say, hey, how much can you get pre-approved for? How much can you do this? They might even give you like an algorithm to say, hey, how much money do you make? What is your monthly debt? Okay, you can afford this amount of money. The problem with those formulas is twofold. First of all, while they might figure out the maximum amount that you can get qualified for, just because you could buy something doesn't mean that you should. All right. The second reason is this. Just because you think you make a certain amount of money and you think you owe a certain amount of money on certain debts that you have, Fannie and Freddie might not agree. All right, if you have a student loan where you're only paying $200 a month, a Fannie, Freddie, or FHA loan might actually require us to hit you for like a $500 payment or an $800 a month payment. So you see there are formulas, there are percentages, there are rules that we have to follow. So if you go online, you're like, okay, how much can I afford? I make this much money a month. I owe this much money a month. Therefore, I can afford a house that's this much. You start looking for houses that are $200,000, but because of the debt to income ratios that we have to use, you can only afford a $150,000 house. Now your wife's not going to be all that excited, right? When you think, yeah, we can buy this house, but then once you actually go to get pre-approved, you can't. You want to talk to a loan officer first. He'll direct you in the right way. While you're talking to that loan officer, remember this. Don't unnecessarily pull your credit if you're too far out, right? Credit report's going to be good for 90 to 120 days, depending on who you're working with. So if you're not ready to buy until next year, don't just pull your credit report just for fun, right? We don't want to necessarily put that hit on your credit. However, if you really want to dial in and find out exactly how much you can get pre-approved for, it might be a good idea to have your credit report pulled by a loan officer and then go through that credit report with the loan officer line by line and make sure that everything on your credit report is correct, right? Perhaps your credit is a little bit worse than where you'd like it to be. A good loan officer can also walk you through that credit report and say, hey, if you pay this down, if you pay off this, we can boost your score by 50 points and then save you a lot of money in the long run. All right, so step 1, talk to a loan officer. Step 2, get pre-approved, not pre-qualified. Okay, when I went to go purchase a home here in Mentor, Ohio, I walked into the bank that I use because I had good experiences with this bank that I use. All right, and I said, hey, I want to buy a house that's worth, about this much. They pulled my credit report and I told them how much money I made and the guy gave me a pre-approval letter. Now then he also said this. He said, I can't guarantee that this pre-approval letter will work, but here you go. If you talk to a loan officer, excuse my kids crying, we had a baby last week, everyone's a little tired and cranky. If you talk to a loan officer for 10 minutes, and he gives you a piece of paper that says you're approved to buy a house, but he hasn't looked at any documents that you gave him, be very careful. Run from this person, okay? That's a pre-qual. They haven't looked at any of your documentation. At the very least, a good loan officer is going to look at a couple things. Bank statements, pay stubs, W-2s, and a credit report, right? A really good loan officer might also ask for retirement assets, tax returns, things of that nature, okay? If you talk to somebody, you don't give them any documents, and then they tell you you can buy a house, run away. That guy's not doing his job. He's not protecting you. That's the guy that you'll spend $500 on an appraisal, you'll spend $600 on inspections, and then all of a sudden, midway through the loan, when you think you're about to close, he's going to tell you, sorry, we can't get you pre-approved. You just lost this money. I'm really sorry. All right. Number 3, after you've talked to a loan officer and after you've gotten a pre-approval, number 3, take that pre-approval to a realtor. Buying a home without a realtor is housing suicide. Using a realtor to purchase a home costs you nothing, will probably save you a lot of money in the future, down the road, by writing a good contract and negotiating for things that you maybe never even thought were possible, right? I'm a loan officer. My wife and I purchased a home this last year. We had a house inspection done. It came back like, hey, here's 30 problems. And I was thinking, hey, let's ask him to fix like 5 of them. That'll be good. I don't want to make him too mad. My realtor's like, no, Jonathan, we're asking for at least 15, maybe even more. And I was like, well, is that going to make them mad? Are they going to be upset? Guess what? We got all 15 repairs fixed. I never would have gotten that without a realtor. Realtors know the market. Realtors know the language. Realtors know how to negotiate. If you're buying a home without a realtor, you're not doing the right thing. All right. Then number 4, find the house of your dreams and give the loan officer what he asks for when he asks for it. A lot of people think this. You have to gather up all these documents to get pre-approved. You get pre-approved. You go, you put a contract on a house and you think, my job is done. I'll be moving in 15 to 30 days. No! Your loan officer is going to ask you for additional documentation that he didn't ask you for up front because he didn't want to waste your time unnecessarily. But now that you're under contract, your loan officer is going to come back to you and say, hey, I need these 3 more things. Hey, I need these 4 more things. Expect that. If you don't expect that going in, you can be setting yourself up for a lot of panic and frustration. All right, so those are 4 things to do to buy a home, to get started, right? Number 1, talk to a loan officer. Number 2, get pre-approved, not pre-qualified. Number 3, find a realtor that you know and trust that's going to work for you, that's going to answer the phone when you call them. And then number 4, find that house of your dreams. And don't stop working on your home purchase until you're in your home. All right, thank you so much for taking the time to join me today. This is Jonathan Washburn, # Dean of Mortgages. Thank you so much for joining me for class today. School is out.